Hey there YouTuber, welcome back to the channel. My name is Doctor, and on this video we will be discussing on how to become a paramedic. We're trying out a new microphone, so if you like it, let me know. Hopefully it sounds a lot better than the previous. This disclaimer covers all of this video. Everything I say is my subjective opinion from past experiences and the knowledge of my profession. It can change with the region and time. Now that I have that out of the way, I would like to remind you to like this video as you actually did, and to subscribe to the channel to help me, the content creator, out. So the paramedic can be the next step after EMT Basic. In the EMS world, there are different levels. If you haven't seen my video on the EMT, make sure you check that out. Now, I've been a paramedic for about 7 years now, and I love it. It's the majority of the 911 runs I consist of. I believe the statistics are around 85% EMS and 15% fire-related runs, at least in my neck of the woods. That's why majority of fire departments near me require firefighters to be cross-trained in EMS. To start out, you have to be already certified as an EMT Basic. This requires you to be 18 years or older. Having a license helps in good standing since driving an ambulance is part of the job. And our EMT, which is the certifying agency, requires you not to be a felon. All the paramedic programs in my area are associated with a college or a vocal school. I ended up getting my associates in Mercy Medical Science. There are bachelor programs elsewhere in the country, which are mostly online. It all depends on your goals in your life and your career. So with most programs, you will need to apply, which tells them who you are and that you can handle the requirements. Back in my day, I was told by my father, once I get my EMT Basic, I need to wait 5 years before getting my paramedic. About a year and a half after he told me that, I needed to get my medic ASAP. He knew no fire department was going to give me a part-time job, let alone a career. Going to the best paramedic program, it had just went from a 9-month program to a 11/12-month program. All the programs require that you have an anatomy and physiology class prior to beginning. Typically this is a 1-semester or 3-month online class, 2 days a week, about 4 hours long. Before you start class, you'll have to have a doctor's physical and up to date with all your vaccines. You'll be paying anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 in tuition and other stuff you'll need for class. That's why your grades are going to matter, because you're going to be funding it yourself. Very few employers have any form of helping you pay for it. I was extremely fortunate for being able to be awarded a scholarship that covered half of the tuition. I then went to my credit union and got a personal loan for the rest. As of now, there are 7 books with a corresponding workbook that is taught from. The total is usually around $500 to $700 for the whole set. One way I'd recommend to save some money is to find a friend that already went through the class and borrow it from them. Just make sure that it's the correct version because they do change, but not too often. Once all the prereqs are met, you'll start class. The pace of the class is much quicker than EMT. You'll revisit stuff you learned in EMT, but it'll be very quick. You will go one by one of the body systems. You'll learn and practice the psychomotor skills of the paramedic from IVs to intubations, and much more. Learning the different parts of the medications possibly administering is probably one of the hardest parts, at least for me. But the biggest part that separates a medic from other levels of EMS is our cardiac training. From the sodium potassium pump to the cardioversion, we're taught different aspects we can run into in the real world. So a third of the class is going to be lecture, just like everything else. But then you have a third of your class in clinicals, and the last third will be ride-alongs. Your course will have all your requirements written out. It's up to you, the student, to complete these. I would recommend getting it all done as soon as possible. That way, when class is wrapping up, you can focus on your test and not your hours. At the end of each semester, you'll have a final, a class final, maybe a phys-stat test, which is hopefully harder than your actual National Registry written exam. And then you'll also have your written exam for National Registry and your National Registry psychomotor test. It's a lot to take on in your 1 year. Some people compare it to the first year of a doctor's program, but just in the time commitment. One piece of advice that every class has been told from the start of time is don't start anything new. Don't buy a new house. Don't get a new wife. Don't have a new child because it's just going to bog everything down and make it 10 times harder. You do all of this and you'll get your National Registry paramedic. You will need to apply whichever state you plan on working at, but you'll be a paramedic finally. Now that you're a paramedic, what can you do? Well, these are some of the very few jobs that you can get in the diverse field of paramedicine. Traditionally, you can work the 911 emergency or the non-emergent transport. Outside of the traditional, you can work for hospitals and emergency rooms, transports on neonatal or mobile ICUs. There's some good money in being a medic on an oil rig. You can go work for private companies or the government. It's all great base education to become a physician assistant or even a doctor. So for a year of your life, it opens up a lot of potential for future endeavors. I can go more in depth, but I'll be wrapping this video up right now. If you have any questions, please ask and make any comments below. I hope everyone has a good, safe day. Thank you so much.